Tonight on Ramblers Unleashed. How much longer until Baron breaks down because of Liv Morgan's absence? Why does the Rambler Complaint Department know so much about DMCA? Why does Max find himself defending Chelsea Green? All this and more next on Ramblers Unleashed.
Warning. This video contains super awesome content not suitable for people who don't enjoy super awesomeness. Viewer discretion advised.
The wrestling podcast that sets all other podcasts apart. Covering news from the world of WWE, AEW, TNA, and more. Your favorite weekly episodic podcast, Ramblers Unleashed, starts now.
Whoa. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ramblers Unleashed, your weekly episodic podcast for news from the world of WWE, AEW, TNA, and tonight, more. Before we go any further, though, Dizzy, I saw you over there. I just want you to know we love you. We miss you. We look forward to your return as soon as you're able. Now, why don't we start out by introducing the Ramblers? Up first, the man who's higher than a jet airliner and whose signature phrase is and always will be
420. I guess that's my phrase.
Hey, we very kindly changed it to that for you because you didn't like having it be 999 anymore.
What?
He is the
It
Baron.
wasn't my phrase then. It
Well,
doesn't make
you
any
said-
sense anymore because inflation. Okay, $9.99 is not it anymore.
$29.99. All right. Up next, the man who destroys kayfabe, the man who does video game streams and sometimes forgets to unmute his mic. He is the Rambler Complaint Department, CM Styles. That's you.
Oh, crap, I did it again. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in, and thank you for having me here. Once again, guys, it's always a pleasure to be a part of this cast. I can't wait to talk about the DMCA later. And, I can't wait to talk about some wrestling with you guys as well.
You know, why do I bother writing a script for you if you're going to go, oh, crap, I did it again, instead of, oops, I did it again?
But I'm not Britney Spears, and that would be the DMCA.
Oh, no. That is not the DMCA. The DMCA is much different, and we're going to get to that tonight. Up next, the other member of the Ramblers crew. For without you, we'd just be a bunch of idiots talking to each other on a video call. Give it up for yourselves over there in the chat. Look how enthusiastic Baron looks tonight.
Well, I'm just upset that I didn't get a round of applause. Well, first class.
You know what?
You
Listen.
haven't done that for 2 weeks now, Max. You want to point these things out to Dizzy on a week-to-week basis, but his true best friend, Baron, is still here on this show, and he's calling you out because you have not given me my golf clap for a second week in a row.
You know what? You are absolutely right, and I feel horrible for it. I'm going to add it to my notes so I don't forget next week, but for tonight, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the Baron because that man makes us all crazy.
Thank you.
All right.
We can't forget this guy right over here. Let's go ahead. Yes, this guy right here. One of the greatest bookers of all time. One of the greatest men that has one of the greatest mic skills of all time. I got nothing else to say but to say let's give it up for Chicago Max himself, Mr. Max Magus.
Yeah, that's right. I am the GOAT. I am Chicago Max. I am your neighborhood heel. And you know what, best friend? I see you over there judging me right now. All right. We have a big show for you tonight. No, I'm not talking about Paul White. We're going to talk about shocking title changes, tournament disappointment, and yeah, believe me, some of us are really disappointed. Record-breaking ticket sales, and maybe a little something special for the Baron later tonight. All right, our first story actually comes to us from TJR Wrestling, and it is about a fellow GOAT. As you may know, John Cena wrestled his final match on Raw last night at Madison Square Garden. It was a 6-person tag, and I don't know if I sent it to the group, but apparently the AI Google result thought that John Cena's tag team partners last night were going to be Bray Wyatt and Batista. Now, that would have been a hell of a match, but I think we can all admit that since Batista no longer wants to be a part of wrestling, that's not possible. What you may not know, though, is that match breaks a historic record on Raw, and it was even cooler that it took place at Madison Square Garden, the most hallowed wrestling hall of all. While it might not be the last WWE Universe will see of the champ, it will be the last time he will be an active pro wrestler with the global juggernaut on Raw. Ahead of his retirement, John Cena became the record-breaking 17-time world champion, turned heel for a brief period, secured the Intercontinental Championship for the first time to become a Grand Slam champion, and he might be part of his first War Games as well. John Cena's exceptional record on WWE Raw. He's a franchise player, and he'll have his last Raw match at Madison Square Garden, November 17th. Actually, at the time of this reading, that already happened. And they're promoting it as his final Raw appearance. And he took to social media to reveal that he has had the most Raw matches in the company's history. Over 23 years, you've allowed me to have 544 matches on WWE Raw, the most in WWE history. My favorite match is my next one, which will be our last one. Don't miss our last chance to grace the Garden Ring as we say farewell to Raw Live Monday night on Netflix at 8 p.m. Eastern. And guys, that just goes to show how much of a GOAT he is. 544 matches, the most on Raw. I didn't Google to find out who was in second place with how many matches, but damn, that's a lot, especially for a guy that we haven't seen in much of outside of this past year. We haven't seen much of for the last 3 or 4 years, right, Baron?
Yeah. Is he the longest? Did we call him active roster member? I think we can, right? He's active. He's more active than Roman Reigns has been.
Part-time, but active.
He's been more active than Roman, if you ask me. I'm curious who's the second most, actually, first question is he the longest reigning active member of the roster? Has to be, right?
I think he is,
years.
yeah.
I can't even think off the top of my head who would be second to that.
I would say Triple H, but now that he had to retire.
He hasn't had a match in a while.
And he never will. So,
guys, the numbers are just staggering. So, as of last night, we hit 544 matches. The second place person, according to the results, is Randy Orton, who has over 200 matches. It doesn't give me a specific number on the result that I just got, but we're talking more than 300 match differences, Style.
Well, imagine if Randy Orton stayed healthy throughout his entire career. He's had a great career. He's another GOAT that we could put in our book, right? But he's been injured quite a bit throughout his entire career. So imagine if he was fully healthy the entire time, he would be up there. But Cena's a GOAT, so that number doesn't surprise me. He's got more Make-A-Wish grants than matches, I would assume, at this point, too. So, I mean, all around good guy. And it's going to be weird because he's got 2 more appearances left.
Well, John Cena has granted 650 wishes through the Make-A-Wish Foundation, making him the record holder for the most wishes granted by any celebrity. He began his work with the organization in 2002 and granted more wishes than any other celebrity in the foundation's history. And, I've said this before, Styles, you can't do as much work with Make-A-Wish as Cena has when you're a heel. I mean, don't get me wrong. When Dolph Ziggler was a heel, he was doing Make-A-Wishes. And Ric Flair, I mean, all these guys have done it while being a heel, but nobody has outdone John Cena, Styles.
I mean, when it comes to John Cena, like you said, this guy has pretty much done it all. Not just inside the ring, but outside the ring. The Make-A-Wish, don't forget all the commercials he's been involved in as well. The meet and greets. This guy was the poster child for the WWE. I guess we could say since day one, since his his pre-thugonomics and everything. It started with him debuting against Kurt Angle in the Ruthless Aggression era, and after that, he went from one persona to the next. He was a generic creator wrestler going into, this hip hop rapper, from West Newbury, Massachusetts, and he built his, he paved his way into the WWE Hall of Fame in the future. He's put his body on the line. He's put everything on the line. If you remember a promo from years back, he talked about how he missed weddings, funerals. He gave up everything because of the business that he loves, that he so puts all his time into. He gave up everything for this, and putting his body on the line, aging in the process, taking time away, becoming an actor, getting into the movies. I mean, the dude is a phenomenal actor. I'm not going to say he's one of the best actors, but when you watch some of the movies that he's in, he is pretty damn good at it.
He's a better fucking actor than The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, man. I don't give a shit what anybody says. Dwayne The Rock Johnson fucking sucks in movies.
I mean, when you look at a Dwayne movie, by the way, I mean, okay, so The Rock was only good in a couple movies, and I will say that personally because he wasn't The Rock in most of those movies. I mean, you can feel it, but Doom, Walking Tall. I loved Walking Tall, by the way. I loved Walking Tall. It was a great movie. It had a sequel, but that sucked. But and no, it didn't star Dwayne, so that's why it sucked as well. But yeah, I mean, his early movie career was great, and then after that, it was just every movie he was the same character over and over: bald head, goatee. Nothing changed. Watch the Fast and Furious series. So I gotta say, watch Jumanji.
Baywatch.
Might as well just watch the Tooth Fairy 10 times over. But yeah, you know what I mean. But when it comes to John Cena, I mean, this guy, he is phenomenal. He's, we were supposed to love and hate him at the same time. That's how it was. That's how Vince wanted it. Why? Because Vince wanted to shove the same character down our throat for the last 23 years. Well, at least the last 18, 19 years of this 23. And hence the time off to go out to do what he did, making wishes with kids. And you said 544 matches, and that was just on Monday Night Raw. Just think about this guy's track record between Raw, SmackDown. As a matter of fact, he was even on WWE ECW for a little bit. ECW One Night Stand number 2. The guy has done it all, plus pay-per-views, WrestleManias, you name it. This guy put his body on line for everyone, and he wanted you to love him and hate him at the same time. And, now the curtain call is coming up, and when he does this final match, I will say it is going to be emotional. A lot of fans are going to shed tears. I'm just going to shed emotion, and I will give to him that very farewell that he so righteously deserves. So for that, John Cena, we thank you from here at Ramblers and from Destroying Kayfabe. A big thank you for your service and career and sacrifice on there's a whole lot to throw in there.
And after Saturday night's main event, we're going to wish you the best in your future endeavors. Side note, real quick, before we move on, John Cena, obviously, as we discussed, has the record of Make-A-Wishes granted. What I find interesting is that, and it's not who is in second, but the second place person is Justin Bieber, and he has granted 250 wishes. So again, we see a big gap between what Cena has done and what the second place person has done. And I know it's not a competition, but it kind of is if you think about it. I mean, the GOAT is legitimately showing himself to be the GOAT. All right, we are going to move on to the Last Time Is Now tournament. And gentlemen, I know you have thoughts. We'll get to that in just a moment. Our next 2 stories come from Ringside News. I'm going to go ahead and read both of them real quick, and then we can discuss our thoughts on the tournament overall. Last Time Is Now tournament quarterfinals matches have been announced for November 24th's Raw. WWE always has some special planned for fans, and next week Raw is no different. As we are even closer to Survivor Series and John Cena's last match on December 13th, things are heating up all over the place. The November 17th episode of Raw was full of big moments. The WWE Monday Night Raw on November 24th, 2025 will be held at the Paycom Center in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. They already have quite a show in store for fans. Gunther will take on either Carmelo Hayes or Bronson Reed. Hayes and Reed will battle on SmackDown this week. Also, Solo Sikoa will take on either Finn Balor or Penta. That should be a big match no matter who gets it. They will also have a men's War Games advantage match that will see the Usos, CM Punk, and Cody Rhodes take on the Vision in an 8-man tag match with Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns coming back this week for War Games. Anything is possible. We will keep an eye out for more matches and segments for WWE Raw this week. Only time will tell what they add, though we will be here for the headlines you need. And also, Gunther makes dominant in-ring return during November 17th, WWE Raw. This plays into what I have to say about the tournament. That's why I'm bringing this article in. This is also from Ringside News. The November 17th episode of WWE Raw saw the last time is now tournament continue. Those men all want to be John Cena's last opponent, especially since he has the IC title now. WWE drew attention when they introduced a 16-man tournament titled The Last Time Is Now to determine the final opponent for John Cena's retirement match on December 13th. The Last Time Is Now tournament matches on WWE Raw this week included Gunther versus Javon Evans and Solo Sikoa versus a mystery opponent. Solo Sikoa didn't expect to see Dolph Ziggler show up on Raw this week, but that's what happened. Then Solo was able to put Ziggler away with a Samoan spike after he had quite a match against the show-off. Gunther and Javon Evans showed up and put on an incredible match in Madison Square Garden. In the end, the ring general was able to put away the young OG, but this didn't come without a huge fight and an impressive showing from the NXT standout. This was quite a match, and it gave Gunther a chance to work with one of NXT's brightest stars. Although Gunther did dominate, he had to deal with Evans throwing everything he could at him, including a couple strong offensive moves. However, Gunther caught Evans off a suicide dive and smashed him against the apron to maintain control. Gunther ate a ton of offensive from Javon Evans near the end. Then Evans was able to kick out after taking a powerbomb. Then Gunther latched on the sleeper hold, and Evans faded, but he tried to fight out. Finally, the referee called for the bell. Gunther's last match before tonight took place August 2nd, 2025 at WWE SummerSlam, where Punk defeated him for the WWE World Heavyweight title. Of course, Seth Rollins then cashed in on Punk to take the title for a while. We've talked about how this tournament has felt very predictable. Yes, Mir, that is an excellent point. Gunther did get his NXT theme back last night. That was pretty cool. I wonder if they're going to switch him back to the Walter name at some point since they did that. They made this tournament pretty predictable. I mean, they made it clear that Gunther was the most likely person that's going to get that match. They had literally only one person in the entire tournament that I feel falls under the young up-and-comer category that John Cena said he wanted to face, and that man got destroyed by Gunther last night. I disagree with this. Oh, yes. Let's talk about the Nick Nemeth thing real quick. Guys, do you realize...
Nemeth, who's that?
Do you guys realize that the two mystery opponents were a callback to something Cena said on SmackDown a couple of months ago? He said, "Hi, Nick Nemeth. Hi, Matt Cardona." I thought that was really cool that we got that callback.
Yeah, no, that I was going to mention that too on the show tonight because I actually came across a video or an article of that. I'm like, oh shit, I totally forgot about that. But it is cool because John Cena is a very smart individual, right? And he had to have a pretty good say in Cardona as well as Ziggler. I'm always going to call him Ziggler to come back, right? And they both got great pops, and it felt good to see Dolph back in the WWE. I love what he's doing over in TNA. Fantastic. He's the man. Him and his brother doing great things over there. But he is always going to symbolize WWE to me. He was our modern day Shawn Michaels, but not as great as Shawn Michaels. He should have been, right? And I mean, there's not too many people in wrestling that could sell like Dolph Ziggler, man. Nobody could sell like Ziggler.
Baron, I would love for him to hear you say that because he was worried that the fans would not remember him or welcome him back.
I think every wrestler's got that feeling, right? You almost have to.
But some wrestlers really have been forgotten by the fans, and if they show up, they're going to be like, "Who are you?"
It's hard to forget Ziggler. I mean,
Yeah,
he was in WWE for 20 years, right?
Listen, how do you forget a guy who's besides the Spirit Squad, but whose original gimmick was, "Hi, I'm Dolph Ziggler. Hi, I'm Dolph Ziggler." I knew that man's name half hour into Raw, his first Raw as Dolph Ziggler. Come on.
Yeah. But no, those are two great moments because they were kind of unexpected. But I heard a lot of jitter on the Twitter of like an Edge or someone along those lines. So it was actually good to see them too. I wish they could have went a little bit further into it, right? Instead of just getting the one-off match, but they did their part that they had to do. And Ziggler, I will never say anything bad about Ziggler, and I don't think anybody that has ever worked with him in a company could say anything bad about him. I think he's generally a pretty good individual.
I think Cesaro coming back would have been a complication due to his AEW contract.
And nobody no. Here's where Baron goes on his Debbie Downer moment. I don't give a shit about Cesaro. I'm sure there's some wrestling fans out there,
but he's got the charisma of two dying dads.
I never understood the hype with him. So those two guys coming back was great. I wish they could have went a little bit further in the tournament. I think we all knew before this tournament started who was going to win it, and it's a clear indicator who's remaining in this tournament who's going to win. I've said it before this tournament even started. It has to be Gunther, right? Like it wouldn't make any sense for anybody else to win at this point. Yeah.
I mean, here's my thing. And I think this is part of the reason I'm so upset that it's going to be Gunther. I'm sorry, but it was foreshadowed. It was too obvious a choice. That's why I kind of wanted Javon to go over last night instead of Gunther, or Cardona to win his match, or Dolph to win his. Kind of give us a little, well, maybe it's not going to be Gunther. You know what I mean? That's where my biggest problem comes in.
And, WWE is very well known for its predictability. Once in a while to throw a curveball, but most of the time it's a complete strikeout against them instead of us because, like you said, we know the foreshadowing is right there. It's clear as day. And WWE's booking has been par none. And I just hope however they do this finish with Cena goes out the right way. Sadly, we know exactly how it's going to end, and it's going to be a sleeper.
I got to give him props, though. Monday Night Raw was actually really entertaining and really good. I had it on my second monitor while watching, obviously, the most important, football team out there on Monday. But I thought Raw was very entertaining. It was a good show. But I totally agree. I feel like there could have been, some shake-up moments, right, for some people to come back and come in. But I also understand it because, like, Gunther, we all know what Gunther is, right? Like, he is probably one of the best wrestlers in the world, bar none, right? Like, just pound for pound, good wrestler. And we're not talking about the technical, like, flippity-floppity wrestling, which is great for whoever enjoys that, but, like, just pure technical wrestling, like what Gunther does. Definitely one of the better.
He's got an old school set.
Yeah, and it looks good, and he's got that aura in a sense, but he needs like a little extra push to just kind of put him over more so, right? And I think that's what they're trying to do here with John Cena and him. I think truly if they want to like put Gunther over big time, he beats like John Cena in like 10 seconds. Like it's just a fucking beatdown.
A complete squash match.
A squash, right? I think that's the only way this happens.
Let Brock do that.
Well, there's a difference between Brock and like Gunther, right? Gunther's great to watch. Brock is not great to watch.
I think we're going to get a 5-minute match.
For you to bring him up, I had to point it out. What the fuck was that entire story with Brock and John Cena? We're just done with it?
I guess so at this point.
What was that? Okay, one of the worst booking moments, and actually,
I think that was Cena's pick.
ruined the entire run for John Cena as a heel, and I still will have hatred towards that deeply. But I feel like Gunther and Cena it's just what John Cena has to do to put him on the next level. Will it work out? I'm not sure. I would have liked to see a younger star. I would like to see Penta. I think Penta would be a good opponent for John Cena to put over. And I think they could have a really good match. I've never seen Penta have a bad match, right?
You know, and I think that would be great. Out of everybody left in the tournament, that's who I'd want to see the most.
Penta?
But I think I think we all know that it's Penta. I think we all know it's going to be Gunther, though. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
but there's a chance. There's a chance that it's not for the title, because it almost looks like they're planning for Cena versus Dom at Survivor Series. So there's a good chance he puts the belt back to Dom and then just goes into the match on main event one-on-one.
Well, that match is confirmed. That match is booked. They booked it last night on Raw. So there is a good chance that's right. Like, Dom takes the title back. But if that's the case, does that change his final match? Because I feel like his final match with Gunther has to be for the title.
But I don't agree with that. Number one, Gunther has, since being the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion in history, Gunther has been a 2-time world champion. Wouldn't he set his sights on going back after the world title instead of wanting the second-tier title?
I guess it depends where he falls in that category right now with who's currently, where does he fall with Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, right? You know, I don't know. I see him being an IC title guy for quite some time, but I think if Cena does drop it to Dom, that kind of maybe could change the final match for him to a point where he doesn't have to put over Gunther like that. Because I think if Gunther and John Cena go face to face, it's for that title. He puts that title on him. Now, if he loses to Dom, that could change it, and that would be really interesting.
Yeah. All right, before we move on, thanks to a match that took place on Friday night with one of the surprise entrants in the Last Time Is Now tournament, there was a Facebook page that put out an image earlier today that says WWE has the chance to do the coolest thing ever. And if Styles would kindly throw the image I sent up on the screen real quick.
Oh, hold on. Did you send it on Facebook?
Wow.
I wasn't logged.
Oh, fuck.
Man, you know what? Things like this didn't happen when Dizzy was here. He had that picture up for us.
Hey, I wasn't logged in. Give me a break. Here we go.
All right, so this is something that WWE could do that would be really cool after Friday night. Wow. I could totally dig that.
I like it.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
I would 100% support that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Woo, woo, woo,
woo.
Yeah.
Woo, yeah.
No, that wouldn't work. They'd have to. But I think they would be a great pair. I think they'd be featured tag team champions, honestly.
I think it would be an amazing team, honestly. You know what? Knight Rider is what makes it cool, but you wouldn't even have to call them Knight Rider. These guys are just a damn good team together, if you ask my opinion. All right, guys, let's move on. We got to talk about the Intercontinental Championship match last night. Maxine Dupree wins the title over Becky Lynch. Plus, there's a shocking stat that Brian Alvarez pointed out today. This comes from Ringside News. Maxine Dupree shocked the WWE Universe when she defeated Becky Lynch to capture the Women's Intercontinental Championship on the November 17th episode of Raw at Madison Square Garden. But beyond the title change itself, there's a wild stat that puts her victory in a whole new light. This was only her second singles pinfall win on the WWE main roster. The match itself carried major energy, with Alicia Taylor's introductions giving it that big match vibe. Becky Lynch looked locked in from the start, dominating most of the contest and pushing Maxine to her limits. Just when it looked like the man was going to coast to a win, Maxine flipped the script. AJ Lee returned to ringside and caused the distraction that changed everything. Maxine capitalized on the moment and came off the top rope with a crossbody, pinning Becky Lynch in a moment that stunned Madison Square Garden and the viewers at home. While the win was big on its own, Brian Alvarez put things in perspective on Wrestling Observer Radio. This win over Becky Lynch was only the second singles pinfall win that Maxine has ever had on the WWE main roster. In her entire main roster career, she had only pinned one other person ever in a singles match. He confirmed her first win came over Valhalla more than 2 years ago. That person was Valhalla in July of 2023. Then he dropped the kicker. So Maxine is your new Women's Intercontinental Champion by getting her first pinfall in over 2 years. Maxine's growth has been gradual, and this moment marks a huge career milestone. Whether this title reign lasts or not, she just made her mark in a massive way at one of WWE's most iconic venues. That stat alone shows how unpredictable the WWE can be. I mean, 2 pinfall victories, one of them over 2 years ago, and the second one brought her the Intercontinental title, Baron.
Good for her. Yeah, here's what this moment is. It's like the Eva Marie, like, let me smack the other talent in the face tad bit, right? Like, we all know where Becky Lynch stands. She's one of the most popular women on the roster. She can have, she almost like a comic relief in a sense, right? Like both of them, I think. And I think Maxine is kind of like that Eva Marie / Santino Marella, not as funny, but like it's a big shock when they win a match, right? And this was a smack into Becky Lynch's face to, prolong the feud with AJ Lee. So, it is what it is. I'm happy for Maxine. That's great. But it's just not like, way to go, great work, we're putting the belt on you. This is more of just like smacking the Becky Lynch's face to, further the feud with AJ Lee in my mind, right? So I don't expect her to hold on to that title very long. I think she'll drop it very, very soon. But no, it's always good to see a fresh face with the belt, though, right?
Right.
Becky and AJ don't need a belt.
No, they don't. And I made this point earlier today, not with you guys, but I was talking to somebody else, and I was like, look, I'm not sure I'm quite fully behind Maxine Dupree having winning a title. I mean, yes, she has greatly improved even over the last 6 months, but I'm not sure that I'm 100% on board. I don't make those decisions, but what I will say was if you didn't give her this title win, this story meant absolutely nothing, Styles.
I mean, and I'm glad you said that. Like, this is just one of those up-and-coming matches. Not really any build-up whatsoever that I can recall in the last few weeks. I mean, to put Maxine in a women's IC title match against the man, you think to yourself, all right, well, it's Madison Square Garden. You're going to have like one of the least popular faces, but she's going to get over in some way. Throwing AJ Lee into the mix, it's nothing more than let's job out Becky so we can have our, like you said, our AJ versus Becky Lynch match. That could be a Saturday night's main event. That could be a Survivor Series. That could be wherever they want to book that. Build that up for the next few weeks going into the next big show. But when it comes to Maxine, I mean, I'm with Baron with this one. Congratulations, transitional champion. That's one of my favorites. I mean, at least it's not Vankin. But
hey, don't you dare ever disparage the name of the greatest champion of all time.
More titles than anyone in the WWE, and I'll tell you, man, I'm proud of that one. Didn't have to do anything to get it either. I want that job.
Right?
But yeah,
I hear Vacant's contract doesn't pay him a whole lot, but
his
gets those
contract.
titles.
The good thing is his contract never expires, so he doesn't have
Right?
much to worry about. A guaranteed title victories, but yeah, I mean, congratulations, golf club. No, I really don't know where to go with it, because she's sooner or later she's not going to lose it to Becky. She'll probably get that rematch, but she probably won't. There'll probably be a fluke victory. It'll be like a 1-2-3 Kid thing, if you remember 1-2-3 Kid versus Razor Ramon. That's kind of the storyline I get out of this. You got this up and coming, but she's been in WWE for quite a bit now, so it's just like, where are they going with the direction? I don't know.
With the way people's friends keep turning on them lately, feasibly we could see the return of Natty. And as we saw before Natty's absence started, her and Maxine were hanging out backstage quite a bit. And they were close friends, so we can always see the return of Natty as a heel, and Natty takes the belt.
I mean, that's always the possibility. I mean, anybody can get that strap now at this point. It's just who and when.
The thing about it is, the one thing I love about Natalya is that it doesn't matter what your wrestling skill level is. She's going to make you look like $1 million no matter what. Because Natty is that good in the ring. So, all right, let's move on to a story. Becky wasn't too happy about losing her title, as this story from Ringside News explains. Becky Lynch isn't backing off after losing the Women's Intercontinental Championship, and now she's turning up the heat with legal threats and a scathing Instagram video claiming the entire match was rigged. On November 18th, just one day after Maxine Dupri's shocking win on Raw, Becky hit Instagram with a direct message from the streets of New York City. She said she spent the entire day meeting with top attorneys, and they all agreed that she's got a slam dunk case. It's not just her saying it, everybody's saying it. I'm out here on the streets of New York. I've been taking so many meetings today with the best lawyers in the country, and all of them want this case because it's so cut and dry. It's so easy for them. Becky pointed to AJ Lee's interference without a manager's license, and even accused WWE officials of allowing the setup to go down. This is clearly a case of corruption, of injustice. There was a crooked ref. AJ has no managing license. How are you able to get past all the stop guards? We have the best security, and she's able to just waltz out there, cost me the title? Lynch made it crystal clear that she does not recognize Maxine Dupri as champion. She is not the Intercontinental Champion because I never lost. She should have been counted out. She should have been disqualified. She should definitely have been disqualified because AJ Lee acted on her behalf. In the caption, Becky unloaded even more, accusing Adam Pearce of knowingly allowing AJ to return and trigger the distraction. Let's not forget AJ Lee's music and the LED boards. Those things don't just magically pop up when someone steps through the curtain. Maxine was in on it too because she knew there's no way she could win without it. The courts will verify this. This latest update makes it clear Becky isn't treating this like a typical loss. She's treating it like a scandal, and she is promising to take it to court if that's what it takes to get her title back. And we talked about this earlier. I told you guys that, she does such a damn good job on social media of enhancing that heel persona that I look forward to when we have moments like this where she's upset about her loss. And she said in another post that if the nameplates on the side get changed, this will go to court or something like that, Styles.
I mean, I'm actually enjoying this part of the storyline because this basically is another one of those conspiracy-like storylines where she got screwed out of a match, and hold on, there we go. Well, yeah, where she's got to use the lawyer system to get her rematch to get her title back. Of course, we all know it's clear as day that even though she says that these top-tier lawyers have a case, in the end she really doesn't. Hence, AJ isn't a manager. She's an actual in-ring performer, so that won't fit in very well. It's just it's going to be interesting to see where this storyline is going to take it. I mean, it's going to build right into a possible rematch, probably with the same exact results. So I look forward to seeing how they handle this storyline and how they move forward with it.
Baron?
Well, we've seen how well the NYPD did on the show, so it's no surprise that AJ Lee was able to just go out there, right? Becky's starting to sound a little bit like Chelsea Green. I mean, she has mentioned this multiple times by calling her lawyer. I don't remember who she said that towards or directed, but Amir brings up a great point. David Otunga, good time for a return, right? Help her out.
Where's that Clarence Mason guy from? What was it back in the golden era of the WWE?
Oh yeah.
Bring him back too.
Yep.
And you bring back every lawyer. As a matter of fact, just give us Harvey Whippleman as well. He'd pretend to be a lawyer as well. Just give us the greatest job staff that you can give us.
Wasn't it Herman Stevens Jr., right?
The greatest lawyer we've ever seen on WWE TV was out there for Rusev Day with Rusev and Lana. And now everybody believes in him.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. Not everybody, but a selected few people.
And Mir, I had a couple of stories pop up. David Otunga's been in the news today. I don't know why he suddenly popped up, but there were a couple of stories about him. I passed on one of them in favor of one that made me laugh. But the one I passed on, he said that he is open if WWE calls. He would love to make a return. So,
Herman Stevens Jr. That's who it is. I think he was called Clarence Mason, right? But he's an actual legitimate attorney. I didn't know this. I just looked him up, and he's got his own website, and cool. Good for him.
Dude, I mean, who would ever think a gimmick would actually become real life? And that's... So tell me how you started as a lawyer. Well, I was one in WWE. How do you pull that off? Oh, they just needed a gimmick, and I rolled with it.
Yeah, in Florida. He's got the bar. He passed bar, and he's got his own law office. Good for him.
Hey, maybe I'll give that lawyer to my ex-wife.
I mean, D'Lo Brown is a well-known accountant.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. For his WWE.
All right, guys. I could sit here and talk about Becky's heel status all day, but speaking of AJ Lee, though, it looks like she might just be in War Games. It says AJ. And this story comes from Ringside News. The November 17th episode of Raw was full of big moments. Madison Square Garden was early sold out. AJ Lee made her big return to WWE television after being gone for a couple months. AJ Lee returned on Raw and cost Becky Lynch the women's IC title during her match against Maxine Dupree. Lynch controlled much of the match but grew frustrated after a near fall and argued with referee Jessica Carr. When Lynch threw Dupree to the floor, AJ appeared at ringside, creating an opening for Dupree to hit a crossbody and score the win. AJ and Becky have been in conflict since their mixed tag match at WrestlePalooza, where Becky tapped out to AJ. After that was over, AJ Lee was approached backstage to ask if she's sticking around. AJ Lee said that she only returned at WrestlePalooza to help out her husband, but Becky Lynch lights a fire under her. That is when Rhea Ripley, who's leading the War Games team this year, came into the frame. She asked AJ Lee if she would come off camera to have a little discussion. We'll have to see what happens next at this point. Anything is possible. It appears that AJ Lee may find herself in a War Games match. If Becky Lynch ends up joining the heel side, that could be a real grudge match. Now, with Becky Lynch having lost the title to Maxine last night, and AJ Lynch kind of drawing her ire a little bit, that could very well translate into them joining the teams for War Games, Baron.
That's the only two that I could think that is going to fill that position. I mean, do we have any other guests that could on the heel and face side? I really don't. After Charlotte pretty much solidified that she's going to back up Alexa last night, right, on Raw. So that makes sense. don't know how I feel about it. I wanted it to be someone like, you know what I'm saying, like a debut or you know, I always love that shit in wrestling, a surprise entry. But this would make sense, and this would fill that match, and give AJ a little time to where she's not having to focus on a one-on-one match with Becky, because I don't think she's 100% there. You did say AJ Lynch, great name, good call, you know, good call wrestler. But yeah, I think that would be beneficial for her to be in that match. So it's, you know, you have multiple women in that match carrying it, and because I don't think AJ Lee's there for just a one-on-one match, right? So yeah, I see that happening. I think that's going to be a pretty solidified two people for that.
Yeah. Now, I think what I meant was AJ and Lynch. So I apologize if I said that fast enough that it came out AJ Lynch. I didn't mean to.
Well, how about Becky Lee?
We did see the Kabuki Warriors approach Bailey last night, though.
Yeah, I mean, what was that? Damage Control. So I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, when it comes to Bailey's character, that's a mixed bag. But at the same time, the history between Damage Control and Becky Lynch, it's not going to fall through. I mean, she might as well just become a heel again because they really have nothing for her. But she's so loved by the fans as well that you literally create a mixed emotion. I mean, if anything, if you throw her into War Games, you can make her look like she's a heel and possibly screw over her team, i.e. Kurt Angle back in the Invasion era. If you remember that very well, I mean, that's the only thing that you can really do with Becky or Bailey. But yeah, I mean, I really don't see her being a part of the match, but I see her being a part of something outside of it, causing some kind of interference. But overall, when it comes to Bailey being a part of anything, I mean, she might have other focuses to worry about. I mean,
when it comes to the Kabuki Warriors, I've had a lot of acid trips in my life, and every time they're on screen, it gives me flashbacks, and I don't know what the fuck they're doing 9 times out of 10, but I love it. I don't know what Asuka's saying or anything along those lines, but it's entertaining, and I love it. And I think they just put themselves into segments like that to make it very awkward. That way, we have no clue what's going on.
I love it.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. I think it's fucking hilarious, and I laugh every time.
I mean, I suppose the WWE could do something really shocking because, I mean, let's be honest, everything else we've seen the last couple of months has been pretty expected. They could do something really shocking and bring Dakota Kai back to be part of the match. Rejoining the Kabuki
Did she leave
Warriors
pretty in bad terms, though?
As far as I know, they just let her go.
I feel like she went out in public and said some nasty things about WWE, but maybe I'm thinking of someone different.
I think it was she was a member of JC Jane's faction, and her boyfriend said some bad stuff about the WWE recently, about pro wrestling in general, for that matter, at least from her boyfriend. But I don't know. I could be wrong. All right. Tell you what. Let's move on to the Desk of Max Magus. And From the Desk of Max Magus is all about one of my favorite women wrestlers. Chelsea Green's self-proclaimed status as a legend didn't go over well during a recent visit to the International Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame, and now she's officially banned from the premises. The current WWE Women's United States Champion visited the hall before the November 14th episode of Friday Night SmackDown, filming a chaotic video, which I did send to the chat for you guys to watch, in which she clashed with staff and demanded to see her image displayed. What began as a playful promo quickly spiraled into an argument with one of the museum employees, ending with Green being physically escorted out by security. In the video, Green opens the tour with full confidence. Hello, the two-time United States Women's Champion has arrived. Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame, the perfect place to show off my tenure. Oh my, look at this. Things take a turn when the hall's representative tells her that she is, in fact, not part of the display. Well, you are not up here yet. I've got June Byers, Bobo Brazil. That's when Green snaps. Tell me where I am before I light this entire place on fire. Now, arguably, that might have been the worst thing she could have said right then, but as the two other employees try to calm her down and continue the tour, Green mocks them. Beavis and Butthead, ma'am is here, ma'am. Security eventually removes her from the building, but not before she lashes out one last time. You're fired. You're fired. Your life is over, I swear. Oh, now you're quiet, you big dummy. Shortly after the incident, the International Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame released an official statement on social media, making her ban permanent. Effective immediately, Chelsea Green is banned from the International Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame. On Friday, November 14th, Chelsea Green confronted an official at the museum and complained that her image was not displayed at the Hall of Fame. Our security team had to remove Chelsea when she refused to act appropriately. Her image will now be clearly posted at the entrance to the museum to remind all visitors and guests that appropriate decorum is expected at all time. While Green hasn't commented on the ban, her behavior at the museum is already sparking discussion across wrestling circles and raising questions about where the character ends and the chaos begins. Now, the first thing I want to say about this is bravo to Chelsea Green for staying in character the whole time. And unfortunately, despite the post they made about it sounding like they were playing along and in on it, if you watch the video and you see the museum guy looking at her and interacting with her, I don't feel like he was in the mood to joke around or play around. He actually didn't seem to be in on it. He actually seemed like he was upset with her. And I got to be honest, this is one of those moments when you're the heel, you're the heel. You know, your job is to piss people off. I probably wouldn't said I'll light this whole place on fire. But
no, that would be the last thing I'd say to jeopardize my career.
Right. But the rest of that, I have no complaints about her. She did a wonderful job. I thought she played it up well. I would guess that security kind of realized what was going on, but I'm telling you, that tour guide that was interacting with her did not look pleased by the situation, and I did not feel like he was acting.
So that comes with a question, and you're gonna know where I'm coming from when I say this. Do you think it was a work or do you think it was a shoot?
All right, that depends on your perspective.
Because
we Chelsea Green, then it was a work. Are you the museum employee? It was a shoot. Because I think she meant to go in there and play it up and be in character and have fun with it, but
it went too far for him.
And I think it went too far for him. I mean, she did keep putting her finger on his chest, and
I saw that.
I just think that I just don't think that he has the sense of humor needed to play that game. Just based on how I saw, I mean, he actually. I've seen good acting in this stuff, and typically you don't get that from a museum tour guide. And I don't, to me, it just felt like he was actually upset and was actually throwing her out. So, but it was fun to watch. I enjoyed it.
We'll have to read more on this. Hopefully there's an update on that whole thing in the next few days.
I'm hoping, I really hope that like I said, security seemed to kind of be playing along. They're escorting her out, but they also realized what she was doing and that there was really no harm in it. But I just think
it's not like she would go out there. She's as harmless as can be. I mean, yeah, you piss her off, that's one thing. But like you said, she was in character. And if you can't separate the character from the actual, unless something like this has happened in the past, then all of a sudden she says it and it just like sparks a flashback, that's one thing. But it's weird because WWE is known for its sports and entertainment, Wrestling Hall of Fame. They try to take it as super serious as possible, and I get that. But if you can't let a performer perform and make the best out of the whole thing, then you just blew your whole reputation because WWE is going to have to make some calls, and hopefully it doesn't become a legal issue down the road.
Right. All right. We already mentioned David Otunga tonight. Let's talk about a story I found that actually kind of cracked me up. This story comes from Fightful.com. David Otunga says there is a Nexus group chat with every member in it except Bryan Danielson. The Nexus was a faction that came about following the first season of NXT, where the competitors would unite to form a faction and attack John Cena and other top stars in 2010. The faction would begin to fall apart after a big win at SummerSlam that year, but to this day, the faction members stay close, while close enough to remain in the same group chat together. While speaking on Insight with Chris Van Vliet, David Otunga was asked about a potential Nexus reunion. I mean, there is. Somebody just has to call for it. We still have a group thread. We still talk. We have a Nexus group chat. Otunga was then asked who all is in the group chat. Everybody but Daniel Bryan. I mean, he turned on us at SummerSlam. Everybody else is in it. We're all for one. You're either Nexus or against us. But in all seriousness, we went through a lot together. We knew each other in FCW, became friends, and then started on the road together. Went through NXT. We formed real friendships. Also, it was nerve-wracking and stressful, and we were rookies. We were in a class together. We felt like we were being hazed and whatnot, but going through all that together, it makes you bond. Elsewhere in the same interview, he spoke about the potential Nexus had as the group. The reason this made me laugh is because I saw it as, everybody else went on to do other things, but Daniel Bryan went on to jump ship and go to the other company. We don't want him in our chat group. He betrayed us, which he did at SummerSlam, but I meant like in the real world, Styles.
He abandoned the brand and went somewhere else.
Yeah. Baron?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't invite Bryan Danielson into my fucking group chat. I don't know. He's not entertaining. Or you know what I'm saying? Like, he's not... I don't think that's his kind of thing, right? But I'm glad that they still have a group chat going.
Yeah, I actually kind of thought that was really cool.
Yeah,
All right.
It's not often you see a band of brothers stay in touch way after their careers have been ended in WWE. To where,
I mean, we're talking years.
I mean, you have what? You got Ryback or Ryan Reeves, Silverback, if you remember him in what was that, Tough Enough? Michael Tarver, Otunga. You got Wendy. I mean, Heath Slater.
Hey, he's got kids, man.
He's got kids. I mean, you have what, like 8 or 9 members of Nexus, if that. I mean, that was a nice sized group, and they were given like the NWO style gimmick where they take over, but that was very short lived because Vince is like, we're not having that in my company. Nope. He's like, let's build a strong group, only to destroy them at one of our biggest pay-per-views of them all.
All right. The original members included Wade Barrett, who was the leader,
Yeah.
Darren Young, David Otunga, Heath Slater, Justin Gabriel, Michael Tarver, Skip Sheffield, and Daniel Bryan.
Skip Sheffield. I keep forgetting about that name. Oh my god. Like I'm sorry, but Skip had one of the worst gimmicks of them all. He come out there with the Stone Cold gear and the cowboy hat behind it was like JR and Stone Cold fused together with a Goldberg look. Like, no, I can't. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know.
It just did not work. There was no charisma behind his character. But I'll tell you this. If you see him on Instagram, he's funny as fuck nowadays. He's actually matured a lot since his post-WWE fallout.
All right.
I have not followed.
Yeah. Fallout?
I mean,
that's a good game.
I'm pretty sure I'm still blocked by him.
I wouldn't be surprised if he blocked me on X back in the day because everyone was like, he would see the counter how many people told him to retire, and I was one of them.
Oh no, he unblocked me at some point, and I'm still unblocked.
You're gonna get blocked again.
You know what?
I would try to get blocked again.
I wouldn't be upset by it.
That would be my goal.
Because look, if you've been paying attention to this show and our conversations for very long, you know there's a reason I got blocked. And I'm not even upset about it.
Yeah, no, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Up next, we're going to be destroying kayfabe, and we're going to let CM Styles break down this story from NoDQ.com. Twitter/X users are being sent DMCA notices over posts about former WWE star Cora Jade. This week, multiple Twitter/X users have noted that they were sent DMCA, Digital Millennium Copyright Act notices over posts about former WWE star Cora Jade that allegedly contained copyrighted material. User at Meltzer said what stated the following about the situation. If you got a DMCA notice from Cora Jade, dispute it and file a counter notice. Unless you posted photos from her OnlyFans, she cannot have random wrestling photos of herself removed that are owned by WWE or the individual photographer themselves. You can DM me if you need help. Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful.com also wrote about the matter. Hey, wrestlers, when you hire copyright companies to protect your paywalled stuff, make sure they don't flag the post your publicist sent us. Most of them just use bots to do the work. It's specifically from a copyright protection company called Content Armor. They claim that all of these tweets featured stuff from either her OnlyFans, IG, or TikTok. Ours were from TMZ, provided by TMZ. If you get one of these, dispute it if it wasn't copyrighted. So, Styles, I'm going to have you kind of explain to everybody what is happening here.
All right. So, me being a streamer and being on social media here and there, one of the biggest things you got to worry about is the DMCA, Digital Millennial Copyright Act, where basically if you have copyright material that doesn't belong to you, most of the time you have to get permission from the content creator. So say the story with Cora Jade. If you use a piece of her content that wasn't, say, like you said, WWE, and anything that's WWE is basically like free domain right there. You can share that, like this background, this backdrop, this is WWE property, but we can share that because even though it belongs to them, everyone gets to see that. Now they created that, but if it's her content, like you said, if you would say OnlyFans or even like say Twitch or YouTube, anything that requires her content, you have to receive permission. And that the same applies with movies or music or any type of digital media whatsoever. If you share that, express it without using, all right, so some people put, I do not own the copyright to this content right here, and you would use the copyright law that protects you from it. In this case, it would not, because you were using something of hers without asking for her permission. Now, if it was a band or a clip from a movie, you would use it so and so right there because it belongs to them, and that's basically like saying you used our content without our consent. So now, because of that, we have to give you a copyright strike. And in this case, a lot of people are getting hit with it. Now, hence, I haven't been on X in over a week because I might as well just say it's a permanent. I'm kind of leaving the platform because it's too polarized over there, and even the whole algorithm's all messed up. But to read up on this on NoDQ and share with you guys, seeing that X isn't safe, Twitter isn't safe, whatever you want to call it. As a matter of fact, even places like Instagram, even Facebook, you're no longer safe in with the DMCA Act. It just, if you share something that doesn't belong to you, be sure to get permission first, because in the end, you're going to be the one that bites the dust on your account. You'll get written, you'll get digital warnings. You'll get warned at least 2 or 3 times, and then if you continue to do it, then more than likely either suspend your account or remove your account without your notice or approval. I mean, I for one, I used to get plenty of DMCA's over on. As a matter of fact, I got it here on YouTube when I used to stream Destroying Kayfabe. Why? Because I was usually, before the DMCA thing got really big, I used to use some of my favorite bands as, an intro. So what would happen? Well, back when the DMCA started, I would get a strike, but then I could remove that strike by either muting that part of the audio, or they would demonetize my channel so I could never make money off of it because of the intro of my show. After a while, I ended up getting some third-party songs, and it would protect me from any demonetization or copyright strikes. So in a sense like this, to share her content and you get a strike, yes, you're able to dispute as long as she's pretty much consenting to it. So it's just it's a very, very strange thing on the internet these days. But most of these performers are out there trying to protect their own, and this is how they make their money. And if you share what they make their money on, they're going to come right after you real quick. So it's really weird.
I understand them trying to make their own, but Sean Ross Sapp made the point that they got their picture from TMZ. So does she have a leg to stand on with the picture that Fightful shared?
I mean, if Fightful has that same image, I mean, I'm surprised. I mean, they're the ones that got hit with it first, wasn't it? Or was it? See, that's why I'm trying to remember how this whole story went. I know it was just users at first, but I mean, if anyone were to have that, it would follow under some kind of dispute. But I guess it's on who's sharing it. I mean, some people they'll get the image and then everyone else will start sharing it right after it, as if this person was the only one that was supposed to have it and everyone else has it and it blows up. Like there's a reason we have things like screenshots and save images, or save video and photo, and it's weird how they're taking it. Now, if there's a watermark on it, that's going to be the biggest thing, because that's what you look for. If you have content that has a watermark on there and you share it with that watermark on there, even with a crop, they're going to know where that image came from. So they're going to tackle you immediately. But now, say Cora starts sharing it to, say, TMZ or Sean Ross Sapp or even Dave Meltzer, they'll be the ones that have the consent to share it first. Down the road, maybe you'll be able to share it. For right now, it belongs to them other than just her. But anyone else, it's just... I don't like the DMCA Act one bit, but I understand why it protects content creators from, people sharing this stuff. If me as a fan were able to share it, yeah, that'd be great. It's not like I'm here trying to profit off of your own content. If anything, it's going to give you more exposure, but now you're exposing yourself. Oh, profit, it's a profiteer for them, and enjoy the relevancy while it lasts. But I don't know. When it comes to situations like this, music and movies is one thing. Sharing her content is something completely different. I don't know exactly what all the content was. I didn't get to see all that. I just read some of the article and was like, all right, we got to talk about this eventually. And here it is on tonight's topic of Destroying Kayfabe.
Yeah. Hey, Baron, I got a question for you. How long have you been subscribed to her OnlyFans?
Whoa. Right. Well, brother, first and foremost, I don't need to subscribe to any of that. If you can't already tell. Yeah, not this guy.
All right. That's going to do it for WWE.
You know what? I am anybody that wants to do whatever they want in life, that makes them happy, that makes them fulfilled, by all means do that. Not discouraging.
Unless it infringes on other people.
Oh, yeah, obviously, right. But whatever you need to do to make ends meet, do it. Life is very, very weird.
Now, I would like to clarify, Baron did not say if you need to be a contract killer. That's not what he said. So don't go writing us. You know what? Send that complaint over to the complaint department.
Send that up to HR.
Don't send it to me.
Send that up to CM HR Styles over there.
As a matter of fact, I want nothing to do with that one. Just send it to someone else. Send it to J-Bone. Send it to someone.
All right, that's going to do it for WWE news. Up next will be Baron's Buzzkill. And you know what we always discuss right after WWE news? That's right. Ringside News reports that Liv was not backstage at WWE Raw, despite return rumors. Despite a wave of rumors swirling around ahead of Monday Night Raw at Madison Square Garden, Liv Morgan is not in the building, and she won't be appearing on the show. Speculation leading up to tonight's broadcast suggests that Liv might be one of several big names backstage, alongside Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, and AJ Lee. The buzz centered on a possible surprise return, especially with the show airing from the iconic New York City venue. But those hopes were shut down before the show even went live. According to a report from PW Insider, a source confirmed that Liv Morgan is not backstage at Raw and is not scheduled to appear during the show. That means her long-awaited return to WWE television will have to wait. Liv has been absent since June 16th when she suffered a shoulder injury during Raw and underwent surgery shortly after. WWE never offered a public return timeline, so her comeback window has remained wide open. While AJ Lee and Roman Reigns were also linked to potential appearances, Liv's absence stands out, especially given how long she's been off TV and the online chatter that suggests that she might finally resurface. Fans hoping for her return tonight will be disappointed, but they'll have to keep waiting. Were you hoping to see Liv Morgan back on WWE Raw tonight? Baron was. When do you think she'll finally return? Sound off in the comments. Baron, first off, I'm sorry. I saw your face. I had to swerve you and make you think I was giving you an AEW buzzkill tonight because I wanted the fact that it's about Liv Morgan to be a surprise. Now, the question for you, though, is this. How much longer can you hold out? I know you miss her. How much longer can you hold out?
I think the real question is how much longer can the rest of us hold out? Seriously, dude. She was one of the best on the roster. First and foremost, this is a true buzzkill moment bringing her into the picture like this, Max. So I appreciate the swerve, but actually this one stings a little bit. So I almost would have rather taken the AEW segment here. Just that way I can just say, fuck this, fuck that. But I guess I could continue to say that on this segment here. Yeah, dude, it's when is she going to come back? Will she ever come back? When did she go out? That's the big question.
Months ago.
June 16th. I think that's what it said.
Wait, that long?
Yeah, June 16th, she suffered a shoulder injury during Raw and underwent surgery shortly after.
When is Royal Rumble? January?
January.
That's 6 months, right?
Shit, yeah.
That's how long her injury was supposed to be.
7, actually, but yeah, close enough.
Yeah, always take a couple months after. Yeah, so I see her maybe Rumble time. I think it would be perfect time for her to come back. I kind of was like watching Raw because I think that segment was happening during like halftime on the football game. And they were having that women's segment on there where I think Alexa was getting beat down. And I thought maybe there might be a swerve moment where Liv just came running out there. But I think it was me just being overly stimulated and hoping for that. But I think Rumble's a safe bet, and I think that would give her a big pop. Now, the big question, because like Raquel and Roxanne, what is happening with those two? Nothing, right?
Nothing. Really.
I mean, they confronted Stephanie McCurr. I love the way Barrett says that. They confronted her. Raquel got the match. I thought Roxanne would because it was really Roxanne that was in her face saying that she should be challenging for that belt. So I thought that was kind of weird that it was actually Raquel that got the match. And then Roxanne had her back during the match, and that's where we left off. I haven't seen anything since then.
Well, I mean, we already know Stephanie is feuding with Nikki Bella now.
Yeah, so
Roxanne and Raquel are just, they lost those belts, and it's just kind of been like, nothing. Because I think if Liv was to return, it would have to be directed towards Roxanne, but also Roxanne and Dom are like non-existent anymore, right?
Right.
Like I think right now, when it comes to the whole Roxanne, even Dom, the Judgment Day is slowly falling apart already. So it's just like when she returns,
it fell apart when Liv left. Like Liv and Dom were like that, right? And I think that was a really entertaining, and I really think that helped elevate Dom a little bit. I'm going to give props to Liv during that period of time because I really think that helped him be who he is now. So when she returns, it's going to be interesting if she goes after that because that has been blocked out for wrestling or on the shows for a while now. So I think The only way she comes back is at Royal Rumble. Just kind of refresh start as a face.
I mean,
no, I am a Dallas Cowboys fan. Die-hard Cowboys fan for many years of my life. No Raiders. Ew.
By the way, real quick before I go back to the Liv Morgan subject, how did you take it when Denver beat Dallas by 20 points a few weeks ago?
Denver's a great team. Good for them. They beat the fucking Chiefs as well. You know, they're a great team. However, that doesn't equal anything because the Denver Broncos have done nothing for their entire entity into football. So, not worried about the Broncos whatsoever.
I mean, to be fair, the Broncos do have a championship outside of the VHS era.
Do they?
Yeah.
When was that?
Peyton Manning.
Well, yeah, that's fair enough. But I mean, I still consider that VHS era. Good for them. That was their one Super Bowl win, right? Or
they've got 3.
Oh, they almost got more than Dallas. Dallas got 5, and they've been to 8. Max, I hope we all know that.
The Broncos beat the Packers in 98, the Falcons in 99, and the Panthers in 2016.
Good. Nice 3 championships. That's great for them. They almost have beat out the Cowboys. And it's took them 30 years to do it. Good for them. Yeah,
listen,
they're good.
I don't know why you're... And by the way, the Broncos have also been to 8 Super Bowls.
That's even a worse statistic to throw that out there. They've been to 8.
I don't know why you're treating me like a Broncos fan. I'm a Bears fan. I'm just asking.
Well, that's even worse. Why would you even admit to that? Why would you even go down that road, Max?
Hey, Chicago Max is going to admit to being a Bears fan.
Oh, Max, that's even worse. You should have kept that Denver.
All right, so let's go back over to the Liv Morgan thing real quick. First off, the friction with the Judgment Day was there before Liv went out. Liv was admittedly part of what was holding it together because she kept, we got you a match, go take care of your match, blah, blah, blah. Here's the other thing I want to point out, though. Despite last week, after Dom lost the title, and he was backstage going, where's my family? Where's the Judgment Day? Last night on Raw, the 3 of them looked pretty damn tight. Him, Finn, and JD McDonough. So I look forward to Liv returning soon, though. I gave you this story because I know you're missing her and I know you wanted to talk about her. That's why I did it. I didn't do it to make you sad. I apologize.
Well, it made me extra sad, and then it made me extra sad that we had to go down the Dallas Cowboys fucking road. So, yeah, this is a great fucking buzzkill moment, Max. I really, truly appreciate you sticking it to the man.
Listen, I blame Mir for us getting on the Cowboys conversation because he accused you of being a Raiders fan, and I just couldn't let that stand.
Yeah,
because,
that was
damn
rude.
it, I hate the Raiders.
That was fucking rude, Mir.
All right, guys. Mir. Up next, we really are going to shift gears and go over to AEW. We are going to discuss TK's ongoing decision to ignore talent that he has held back for the right time and instead focus on people like Will Ospreay. He did say, and I didn't pull this article for tonight, but go check it out. Tony Khan did say that there is a condition for whether he's ever going to let Adam Cole wrestle again. But this story comes from Fightful.com. Tony Khan is hoping Will Ospreay's AEW return will happen in the first half of 2026. A potential timetable for Ospreay's return. A lights-out steel cage match headline 2025 installment of AEW and New Japan Forbidden Door in late August. That bout was the last time Will Ospreay wrestled before stepping away from the ring to undergo neck surgery. A potential timeline for Ospreay's return was given by AEW President Tony Khan. Khan joined the Ariel Helwani show and said he is hopeful that Ospreay will be back in the first half of 2026. Will Ospreay is going to be back with AEW, I think hopefully earlier next year. I can't say exactly when. but it'll be next year, and I hope it'll be in the first half of next year. Uh, Perhaps you should not do the cocaine before you do an interview because, damn, okay. But let's talk about the fact that you're over here talking about when a guy might return that you allowed to keep doing shows after he was injured, making his injury worse when you had people backstage like, I don't know, Adam Cole, that could have come out and filled the void so you could let Osprey, who you're treating like one of your top stars, heal and get better, and maybe he'd have been back already if you'd let him go when the time was right. Swerve Strickland is another good example, Tony. When are you going to bring the people back? When is the time going to be right for you? How many people are you going to let work injured when you have people backstage that could feasibly come out, put on a damn good show, and allow these guys to heal like they're supposed to? And I'm not putting all the blame on you for these guys continuing to work when they should be taking time off to heal, because part of that decision is on them. But you're the boss. You are responsible. You are the one that needs to step up and say, no, you're injured. You need to take some time off. Let's write you off the show this week so that you can go heal. At some point, you're going to have to act like a goddamn boss and do your damn job, guys.
Well said. I concur. This is what happens though when you don't have a established like team behind you, right? You know, I'm not going to sit here and back up Tony Khan at all. I'm not. But you have you had vice presidents of the Young Bucks. Where are they at in this picture? If anybody, you know what I'm saying? I mean, like, this established core of AEW started. He was a funding man. Simple as that, right? You had the Cody Rhodes. You had the Young Bucks.
Kenny Omega.
Kenny Omega. I still think Jericho had some stock in it.
Was behind that. Yeah.
I think for sure, right? So where are they at during this period of time? Are they collecting their paychecks? Are they just cashing out? What are they doing to
Cody
help?
Rhodes is back in WWE now.
Well, yeah. Obviously, Cody Rhodes, right? But like Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, what's going on with them? Where are they at?
I mean, when it comes to Omega, I mean, his time's coming closer and closer to an end. So I don't think he really gives a shit as much.
Well, unpopular opinion, real quick, not to cut you off here, but every single person on that roster, time is coming because of the way they fucking put their body on the line.
Oh, dude.
Every single week. Darby Allin, Will Ospreay.
Number one. Ospreay is number 2 in line, especially with this neck injury. Once he's healed up properly, it takes more than 6 months to come back from a major neck surgery like his. Especially like when you said it best, Max. You know, when you got one of your guys out, you treat him like the top guy, and you got him busting his ass every week. All you're doing is working over that injury, and it doesn't take. You need that time to heal, and if you don't heal, it aggravates more, and it can cause more friction to where it just shuts down that one part. You want prime examples? Look at Edge. He's the number one example. When he did that spear at WrestleMania on Del Rio, he said he lost a feeling that, Kurt Angle, he's the next best thing to talk about. I mean, hell, even Scott Steiner, if you remember Scott Steiner, he actually had a major neck injury in WCW from a bad spot. And, I've always followed, what was the other one? Pitbull Gary in ECW. He's another guy that actually had a major neck surgery. The worst part with him was that they actually did a promo with that on his head, on his shoulders, and they did a promo and he took a bump with that thing on. And I thought to myself, how do you end a man's career? Do some shit like that. But when it comes to today, these guys are high impact workers, and high impact just means it's a low boundary for your body to where it just wears and tears faster, and your career is going to be shortened more and more. So Tony's saying hopefully the first half, you're going to be lucky if he comes back in the second half of 2026. He's got to heal. He's got to rehab. And it's going to be a lot of money right there, Tony. And your high expectations, like you said, lay off the booger sugar, because he's He's hired a Mr. 420 right now, and his brain is completely scattered everywhere. He doesn't know how to run a company. He's a fanboy before he's a boss. So if you don't believe me, watch a CM Punk scrum where he just let Punk go right off the rails, and he had no idea how to shut it down.
Right.
He's just a kid with money, his dad's money, I should say, and he should just let a real GM, let a real boss run that company for him. And I'm not saying Vince McMahon, because we don't need him running anything anymore. Although he'd make the AEW ticket prices even lower than they are, they'll be the only way to get butts in seats.
I mean, that did pop up as a little sidebar on the article I just read. Tony Khan says he wants to keep AEW ticket prices affordable. Well, you better, because the quality of your programming does not reflect your current ticket prices. So,
well, just watch a Stevie Richards video I saw earlier where he did a reminiscence of They Live. If you haven't seen that yet, you should Google it later or YouTube it. Let me tell you.
I may have to do that after we go off air.
Trust me, you're going to love it. Stevie Richards, I love the video, dude. Enjoy the show.
And listen, I know you guys heard me read the article, but if you think I'm being too harsh on Tony Khan, please send your complaints to the complaint department, and he will handle them accordingly. But let me reread what he said in this interview, okay? I'm sorry, I don't think I'm handling this too harshly. He said this. Will Ospreay is going to be back with the AEW, I think, hopefully earlier next year. I can't say exactly when, but it'll be next year, and I hope it'll be the first half of next year. You need to be a little more articulate in your interviews so that you're not. We're here to ramble. It's in our name. You're Tony Khan. You're the guy that runs AEW. You need to be articulate. We don't. Just for the record.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to that other company that we like. TNA. Ringside News is reporting that TNA may have found a potential landing spot for a new TV deal. TNA Wrestling is making moves, big ones, with just weeks left before 2025. Wait, hold on. With just weeks left before 2025 ends, the promotion, that's not what the article said, but it was confusing the way they wrote it, so I edited it in my own words. Left before 2025 ends, the promotion is reportedly closing in on a $10 million media rights deal to take its weekly show live again, and now there's a new player at the table, AMC. According to the takedown on Sports Illustrated, a new TV studio with no WWE ties is pursuing TNA, and AMC has emerged as a legit landing spot. The takedown on Sports Illustrated has learned through TV industry sources that another network with no current WWE ties has been pursuing TNA's media rights, with them indicating that AMC has emerged as a potential landing spot. AMC may not be known for wrestling, but it's got reach. The network built its name on massive scripted hits like Breaking Bad, The Walking Dead, and Mad Men. And while AMC has never aired pro wrestling, the report points out that this partnership could put TNA in front of a much bigger audience. Back in 2014, there were even rumors that AMC was looking to buy WWE and merge with the sports entertainment juggernaut, but that talk fizzled out. This time, the interest is real, and TNA is trying to capitalize. Dave Meltzer previously named AE and CW as possible broadcast options for TNA, but both come with with WWE baggage. WWE has working relationships with both networks, so they have a say in any deal made. Both A&E and the CW have been rumored as potential new broadcast partners for TNA. Because of the partnership between the two companies, WWE would have been involved in talks with either network. There's also talk of a possible time slot change for TNA's weekly show. Strategically, Wednesday was floated as a target night directly opposite AEW Dynamite. That's a bold move, Cotton, but one that would put TNA right back in the fight. Meltzer also said that A&E could move TNA to Sunday nights to serve as a lead-in for WWE's reality series LFG, which reportedly struggled with ratings earlier this year. Sunday could work for A&E since the network might use TNA as a lead-in for WWE's reality show LFG, which was, why'd you guys repeat exactly what he said and then put what he said? If AMC locks this deal, it would shake up the wrestling TV landscape going into 2025. Whether it ends up with AMC, A&E, or the CW, one thing's clear: TNA is ready to level up and hit a bigger platform than it's had in years. I got to be honest with you guys. TNA is having quite the resurgence. I think that they've improved the quality in the last couple years. I don't think it matters where they end up, but I do want to say before we actually share our thoughts on the TNA deal, haha, TK, you might be about to lose your TV deal because of a merger, and TNA has a TV deal coming up. Oh, it must suck to be you, Baron.
Fair. Their TV ratings still won't be as high as AEW at the end of the day, but I think it's safe to say WWE/NXT has helped elevate that brand from a production standpoint. I mean, there's no way on earth anybody could tell me otherwise. That production of TNA, just over the last 2-3 months, has increased heavily, right? Like, their production looks really fucking good. And they're getting in the spotlight more, so they're going to land good TV deals because they're putting on good product, and they're doing what AEW was supposed to do: have a stacked roster, put on good matches, and good stories. AEW has a stacked roster, putting on the worst of worst stories possible, and they have the talent. And they do put on great matches, but 9 times out of 10, it's someone going through a fucking table or some glass or blood or snipping their fucking ears off to where it doesn't make sense. And wrestling fans aren't about that anymore, right? Backyard wrestling died years ago, sadly. So it's not entertaining to your casual viewers anymore. So good for TNA. If they can land AMC, that's huge. However, I really don't know how that works out for wrestling on that network, AMC, because that is primarily, that network only got popular due to Breaking Bad, right?
And The Walking Dead.
Oh, and The Walking Dead, of course, too, right? Obviously.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Mad Men was big, but I don't think it reached.
I think more people watched it when it came out on like the streaming services, right? Like
right, but
Netflix
I meant
and
as
shit
far
like
as
that.
As far as when it aired, it was a popular show, but I don't think it ever quite reached the numbers of Breaking Bad and Walking Dead.
No, you're talking like top 10 shows of all time with those two. But Mad Men was great, though. I did like Mad Men. But I think they got popular over the years when they moved to the streaming services, and got really popular there, and most people rewatch it there. So that's good for wrestling. How does that fit in? I'm not sure. I don't know how many people still watch that network at all, but nonetheless, it's still really good for them.
I want to clarify one point you made before we toss this over to Styles for a minute. You're right. TNA has a stacked roster. AEW has a stacked roster, but the difference is one of them is oversaturated while it's stacked. I mean, you have too many people right now under contract with AEW to really give people appropriate time. And there's an argument that can be made that WWE has done the same thing over the years. But I do think that they are doing a better job of showcasing the talent than AEW is, especially with Tony Khan going, oh, so-and-so will return when the time is right. Now, here's the other problem, though, Styles. We cut the cord here, right? So now, if I want to watch TNA and AMC is the one that picks them up, I got to get another streaming service. I've got to spend more every month now.
Streaming services, I mean, it was cool to see these things come into play, but now you got one show per platform, and one company has several platforms where one might be lucky if anyone even subscribes to it. Yeah, thinking about all this that's going on right now, especially in AEW's non-favor, I might have to create a new photo off of what I'm about to drag here right now for you guys, because I'm sure everyone remembers the death of WCW. Now we're about to see the death of AEW, because it's really going to have nowhere to go eventually. Sooner or later, it's going to be like when Eric Bischoff was on Monday Nitro on a phone through a teleconference explaining that AOL Time Warner is pulling the plug on the show. It didn't matter how many funds you put into it. It's not giving them what they want anymore. The shareholders are no longer interested in this. And like Baron said, backyard wrestling died a long time ago. I used to watch backyard wrestling on DVDs when they first came out, and it was entertaining as shit. What we're seeing today is beyond backyard wrestling. It's worse than what CZW is putting out, and it's literally unbearable and unwatchable. I mean, these death matches that they create every week. I mean, if John Moxley doesn't bleed the minute he walks out there just to even cut a promo, it's like it's not worth watching anymore for AEW. But for us, it's like we can't watch anymore. It's just, it's been bad booking, bad storylines, more violence than ECW has ever put out. And they'll say, well, the newer generation say, oh, well, you're just toning down because you're getting older. It's more than just that. It's these guys, their shelf life is going to be so much shorter that most of these guys, when they're done wrestling, they're going to be in wheelchairs before they're 50. Some of them before they're 40, because of all the high spots that they do. I mean, WWF, WWE, whatever you want to call it, back in the day, used to say, do not try this at home. And they're doing this shit, and they're probably trying it at home because that's their glorified stuff. And Nick Foley would not be proud. But these, Darby does it. We just talked about Ospreay and his neck surgery. I mean, how much that roster is actually physically able to perform without any form of injury in their portfolio right now in that company. I mean, sooner or later, someone's going to die in that ring, and it's going to be worse than the Owen Hart fall.
It's most likely going to happen in AEW.
That'll be the death of the company. And I don't, I say it like this. There was a time where I went to see TNA bite the dust because of how they were doing things, especially with Dixieland in charge, and it screwed that whole company up. And when she finally stepped away from it, the company started reviving itself, and now look where it is today. It's succeeding. It's doing the right things. It learned its lesson from the past, and it's generating a brand new future. And it's got the old TNA era, TNA feel back. But they lost Joe Hendry. But you know what? It's not just about Joe Hendry. It's about the whole entire roster. They got a phenomenal roster over there. They got the King as TNA World Champion right now, if I recall. So it's just, he just cash in his whatever.
Frankie Kazarian. Yep.
Yeah, Frankie's got he cashed in the other week, and it's just like, there's all kinds of drama unfolding in there, and we don't know what's going on with TNA, but we know that a lot of good things are coming out of it and striking new deals. They're going to succeed. They're their number 2 company right now. AEW is lucky if it even makes third. There might be a backyard fed somewhere that's already lining up for a TV deal that does a whole lot better than what AEW is giving us. So, I try not to shit on AEW, but it's not what it was when it debuted. What was that, 2019? So it's not the same AEW. It's no longer all elite. It's all extreme wrestling, and that's exactly what it's become.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the case. Back to the original story, though. I look forward, as much as I hate to have to get another streaming service, I look forward to finding out where TNA does land their TV deal. I'm hoping it's something that's that streams on a platform I already have, but I suppose we can cross that bridge when we get to it. At the start of the show, I promised you guys that tonight we would have something more. We've talked about WWE, we've talked about AEW ad nauseum, and we've talked some about TNA. Let's talk about another company. Our next story comes from Ringside News. We are going to talk about some NJPW news. Tanahashi's farewell has caused an earlier than expected sellout of Wrestle Kingdom tickets. Um, Hiroshi Tanahashi's final match is already setting records. Wrestle Kingdom 20, set for January 4th, 2026 at the Tokyo Dome, has officially sold out in its current configuration. And now New Japan Pro Wrestling is adding more seats to meet the overwhelming demand. NJPW released a statement confirming the surge in ticket sales and announcing the venue expansion. Thanks to you, Sons RD presents Wrestle Kingdom 20 in Tokyo Dome Hiroshi Tanahashi retirement to be held on Sunday, January 4th, 2026, which was originally scheduled. All the seat types is sold out. The company noted that both the arena and the stand sections were completely sold out, and they're stunned by the overwhelming interest. According to NJPW, the show has already set a new record. Wrestle Kingdom 20, where the retirement match of Hiroshi Tanahashi, a one gem in 100 years, is the highest sales in the history of the Wrestle Kingdom series, which started on January 4th, 2007. With Tanahashi taking on longtime rival Kazuchika Okada in his final match, demand for this event has reached an all-time high. NJPW responded quickly to the demand. To meet the expectations of our customers, we have decided to increase the number of seats so that as many customers as possible can watch the event. This isn't just another big show, it's a generational farewell for a legend who helped carry NJPW through multiple eras. With fans showing up in record numbers, Wrestle Kingdom 20 is shaping up to be the most emotional and electric event in the company's history. First off, that's just phenomenal that they sold out that quickly for Tanahashi's farewell match. And I also want to shout them out and congratulate them for breaking a record set by themselves at the Tokyo Dome. That is another thing that just blows my mind. Hey, Tony, don't you have a relationship with them? Maybe you should learn from them. So I think this is great. I think it's great to see New Japan in the news and it be such a positive story. Shout out to Tanahashi. Great career. You've earned your retirement. I don't know what you're going to do in your retirement, but whatever it is, enjoy it. Baron?
Yeah, no, I think I called out a couple weeks ago on the show. I would have loved to see him face off against John Cena. Wouldn't that be something fucking spectacular? Or John Cena at the Tokyo Dome. Could you imagine that on the final tour? Why does it have to be limited to WWE? I mean, you are the biggest wrestler. We're going to throw it out there, folks. And this is going to be an unpopular opinion, but I have to say it. You're talking about the most popular wrestler of all time. He could go anywhere and do whatever he wants. So that would have been cool because, Tanahashi, he's like the John Cena in Tokyo or in Japan, right? So, yeah, that's awesome. Good for them.
Styles?
I mean, I don't know too much about Tanahashi, but I mean, I know enough about him. I mean, he was one of the biggest members, and if I recall, wasn't he in the Bullet Club for a while? If I recall,
so.
I believe he was a Bullet Club member because I remember in the second theme song they had was that Carl that said it?
Oh, apparently he was never actually a member, but he does have a long history of a rivalry with them.
That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I watched a little bit of New Japan here and there, and I mean, phenomenal athlete. They're one of those technical wrestlers over in Japan that belonged over in the U.S. under several, brands over here, but we never got that. But like you said, to bring Cena over to Japan and have him face Tanahashi, that would be great. Like you said, he can do whatever he wants. He's at the end of his career. He's basically the modern day Hulk Hogan. And if I recall, Hulk Hogan, when he was in the WWE back in those days, he used to work in Japan and he actually wrestled versus who he was in the WWE. So it was just like when you see what these guys can do outside of a WWE ring and a WWE moveset, you realize, well, holy shit, I'd like to see him do more in an American ring, but I'd like to see, we'll never get it now, but I just hope he enjoys his retirement coming up as well. And imagine a double retirement out of that match right there.
Right. I'd like to quote Shawn Michaels here. He's going to drive his kids nuts in a week. All right, guys. I think that's going to do it for tonight. But before we go, next week we will be taking the week off. Baron and I had nothing to do with that decision. Ye old complaint department said he needs that night to make a new wooden dildo. So since next week is Thanksgiving and we won't be here to do the show for you, let me just tell you how thankful I am for all of you. You all show up for us week in, week out. We appreciate that. We will see you all in 2 weeks on December 2nd. Baron, how can they find you? Usually hi.
Hi. Find me on the Twitter box at Scumbag Jordan with 3 N's.
Styles?
Well, you won't find me on Twitter anymore, but you can find me on Kick, and you can find me on Instagram under the names Deactivated Styles. That is DEACTIV8DSTYLEZ. Yeah.
So I guess if you have any complaints, send them over to that Instagram thing.
Yeah,
that
find
he just
my
spelled out to you.
Instagram, and I'm not hard to find. I'm all over the place at that point there. So, or just follow me on Kick and come watch me suck at video games while my mic is muted.
Right. All right. You can find me at Max Magus. You can find my other show, the Nerd Podcast, at Our Shots Podcast. You can listen to us wherever you listen to your podcast, or go to random-shots.net. Feel free to find the show at the Ramblers Pod, or search us Ramblers Unleashed on Facebook. Guys, thank you for turning out this week. We had a really good night. We will see you in 2 weeks.
Later, y'all.
Thanks for tuning in to Ramblers Unleashed. Follow the show on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and click the bell icon for notifications of upcoming episodes.